What's up, investors? Today, I'm going to give you our top 6 reasons why duplex conversions are a smart investment strategy and why we specialize in them. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for more great real estate content. Make sure to stick around to the end also, where I share some of the things you should look for when shopping for duplex conversion properties. Duplexes are great for carrying out the BRRRR strategy. Because we're renovating the entire property and changing the use from single family to legal duplex, we're jacking up the value very quickly, which allows us to pull a lot of money back out when we do the refinance. The whole project can usually be completed in about 4 months or less, which means we can pull that money out pretty quickly. There are a couple of things you should always do that will add a ton of value, such as installing 2 separate hydrometers and making sure you fully legalize the duplex with full fire separation and a proper egress window in the basement. Duplexes offer more cash flow than single families. Especially in the crazy hot market we're in today, it's very difficult or even impossible to make a single family property cash flow. Having 2 units gets us more rental income than having only 1. For example, a modest-sized 3-bed, 1-bath house in Kitchener-Waterloo would get around $2,500 a month. Our duplexes get closer to $4,000. Depending on the property, we typically cash flow between $400 and $800. When we buy a property, we ensure it will cash flow. There's nothing worse than having a rental property that doesn't cover itself and requires the investor to put their own money into it every month. To mitigate risk, analyze every property carefully. Include all expenses, including vacancy, maintenance, and capital expenditures, like a future roof or furnace. If you leave anything out, your cash flow number could be wrong and you could be left footing the bill. Speaking of mitigating risk, that leads me to number 3. A duplex is much less risky than a single family when it comes to making sure your expenses are always covered. Let's say you own a single family home and you're renting it out. What happens if that tenant loses their job or gets sick and can't work for a while? What if they can't afford to pay the rent? There's no backup. You are now paying the bills for that property yourself. With a duplex, there are 2 paying tenants. If something happens to one of them and they're unable to pay for a couple months, the rent from the other tenant should still cover the mortgage. All landlords hope this never happens, but the reality is it does, and having 2 paying tenants makes things easier should one of them not pay. When screening tenants, make sure you focus on finding 2 tenants that will mesh well together. A family with 2 toddlers upstairs and a young single person downstairs could be trouble. We always do our best to soundproof, but it's never perfect, and you always want your tenants to be happy in their home. It's always important to look into the future when it comes to real estate. Not only what you estimate the growth to be, but how easy will it be to sell the property when you're ready to sell? A legal duplex is much easier to sell than other small multifamily properties, like triplexes and fourplexes. Your buyer pool is much smaller with those types of properties because they're almost always investors buying them. With duplexes, you still have the regular home buyers purchasing them because they're popular for house hacking or having family members live there. Having a larger buyer pool has its pros and cons. It definitely makes it easier to sell, but it also means that as an investor buying this type of property, you might be in stiffer competition driving the prices up. In any case, it's nice to know that when we're ready to offload a property, we won't have any issues selling it quickly and for top dollar. This is a perfect segue into number 5, house hacking. This can be done with any multifamily property, but duplexes are definitely a favorite for house hackers. The rental income from the other unit can pay all or most of your living expenses. With the way real estate prices are now, it's becoming harder and harder for people to become homeowners. Buying a property with the opportunity for rental income makes it easier to qualify for a higher purchase price and still be able to afford it. There's no sign of our market starting to slow down, so this is going to become even more popular, making it an awesome choice as an investment. One of the biggest hurdles for investors is turning over units. This is when a property is purchased with existing tenants, and for one reason or another, the owner wants the tenant to vacate the property. This could be because they want to use a portion of the property for themselves. It could be to renovate the property or various other reasons. When you purchase a tenanted property, it could take months or years to be able to put your plans for the building into motion. With duplex conversions, you're almost never buying the property from an investor. It's usually a homeowner who has decided to sell, which means the property will be vacant when you take possession. This is a huge reason as to why we love this strategy. We never have to jump through hoops to get tenants to leave. We close on the property one day, and the next day we can begin our renovation. This makes duplex conversions extremely appealing because it saves an enormous amount of time, money, and headaches. When looking at duplex conversion properties, here are a few major things you should look for. Proper zoning. Always check with the city before purchasing. Make sure there's enough parking or room to expand. In our market, tandem parking is allowed, but no one likes playing the car shuffle game. Side-by-side parking is always the best. Make sure there's a separate entrance that leads to the second unit. This will save you tens of thousands of dollars by not having to put one in. Save the money and buy one that already has it. Also, look for as many bedrooms as possible. We love 3 bedrooms up and 3 bedrooms down because they command the best rents and they help jack up the value. 1-bedroom units are the hardest to rent. Always check the ceiling height. If one of the units is in a basement, there are legal height requirements. Don't buy the property until you've verified it will pass building code. Well, there you have it, guys. Duplex conversions are one of the best ways to get rich in real estate. It's been awesome for us and it can be for you too. What's your preferred real estate strategy? Drop a comment below. If you like this video, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe to see more like it. See you next time.